This is my starter and I last fed it yesterday, so it's past peak performance and would probably need another refresh.
But what would happen if I now didn't refresh my starter but actually made the dough and tried to refresh the starter inside of the main dough? Would I be able to turn this into a bread? And that's the question that I want to have a look at in this video.
So it's time to refresh this now. And rather than refreshing this in here, I'm just gonna turn this into a dough, and then I'll be trying to add as much dough strength as possible, pretty much just kneading my sourdough starter. So the dough is going to be at 100% hydration, same as my starter. And that means for 100 grams of flour, I'm having 100 grams of water. So it's gonna be a very, very sticky, highly hydrated dough. But I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. So yeah, stay tuned.
I first played with this flour in my whole wheat masterclass video, and I noticed that for around 100 grams of flour, 85% hydration seems to be the sweet spot, but I also learned that there might be potential for more water inside of the dough. And yeah, I thought, why not show you in this experiment and test what's possible?
Now, since this starter is already past peak performance, but it's not that old, I don't want to be using too much of this because this would make my dough very, very sour.
So yeah, rather than refreshing my starter, I'm just going to be using 20 grams out of my starter and I will mix that with the main dough. So my starter is pretty much going to be refreshed alongside with the main dough as it ferments. Awesome, right? I have no idea whether this is going to work out or not. Let's see.
20 grams of my starter. So this is gonna be the basis, pretty much my unfed sourdough starter. And this is why I'm so excited. This could be something eye-opening. Yeah, I want to see what happens. So my unfed sourdough starter, and now I'm just gonna be making a nice dough out of this. Let's see. Anyone as excited about this as I am? 400 grams of water. And that's what I kind of like about skipping the autolysis, which would be just mixing flour and water. You can dissolve your starter, and that's gonna make sure that you have a more even fermentation everywhere inside of your dough. Then I'm adding 8 grams of salt, and I'm also just going to be dissolving all that with my hand, like this, stir for a few seconds. Whoops. And then next up comes the flour. And then that's the same weight in flour, so 400 grams of whole wheat flour. And now comes the part that I'm the most less excited, the least excited about, I guess, the most less excited. I just have to create a lot of dough strength for this. And existing subscribers will know I'm not the kind of exercise person, so I will have to do a lot of kneading. A lot of kneading. And this is pretty much just raw sourdough starter. Look at the consistency. A good trick with whole wheat flour is to just let it sit for 15 minutes at the start, just to allow the flour to soak up all the water, especially the bran parts, which is all this brownish things that you can see here. That's able to soak up quite a lot of water. That's why also in general whole wheat flours require more water than other flours. It's pretty much when you have a seed and the seed soaks up all the water at the start. That starts the germination process pretty much. Well, sometimes you also need light. I'm not exactly sure about wheat, how that's for wheat, but water is really essential for the whole process. That also explains why the flour breaks down after a certain period of time, because the sprouting pretty much starts inside of your flour. Well, not real sprouting, but the same chemical reactions start taking place, and that starts to break down your flour a little bit. Now, German mode activated. Very stingy. You don't want to lose any of your dough. I will just be letting this sit for 15 minutes, as I said. Then I'll come back and check how this dough looks. And then I need to do more kneading. Kneading. And now, for me, it's time to just start kneading. Oh well, look at this. It's not like it was previously. So I'm just gonna keep doing this. I don't know for how long. I'm trying to develop Oh, look at this. I think this could turn into something. There is a little bit of a gluten network developed. My excitedness is going through the roof. Very good. Okay, so yeah, now it's just muscle force and just kneading. I'm gonna be kneading this for 10 minutes probably. Then I'll be doing a set of bench kneading, 15 minutes break after this kneading. 15 minutes break, allow us to relax. Then bench kneading for 5 minutes, and then I will be doing another bench kneading on crack lamination in the end, just to put this dough together. And look at this. I can't believe it's somewhat, it's very sticky. Look at my hands, but it's somewhat coming together. I think we are onto something. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna show you the final dough after. This is already a lot of sports. And look at this. After all this kneading, it seems like this dough is really coming together very, very nicely. It's still very sticky, but I think this could turn into a dough actually. Very, very interesting. I'm wondering whether this can actually be baked later on. I'm gonna turn this into a nice looking round dough ball and extract a small fermentation sample just like I would normally do. Very sticky still. No, I don't want to lose any of that dough. Small sample extracted, and this will tell me exactly when my dough is done with the bulk fermentation. Now let's just round this up. Then it goes right back to the container. Oh noes! I'm putting this into a new container now. And just look at this consistency. I'm really a bit amazed by how much water whole wheat flour can absorb. So this is gonna stay in there until this thing here not doubles in size. I'll be going for a 50 to 75% size increase for this flour. That turned out to be quite well. Whenever this flattens out quite a lot, then I'm going to be applying a coil fold. And just based on the high hydration, I expect this to be probably every hour. So every hour I likely have to take care of this dough. And I want to take good care of it because I want you to have some oven spring in the end. It's going to be a super moist crumb paired with a crispy crust. I think this could be one of the best breads that I've ever made. Well, let's see. If the temperature changes quite a lot, then the sample is not really a reliable way to double check your fermentation progress. But in this case, it typically does not in my kitchen, so it should be good. Let's see what's going to happen. And check out this dough. It's quite extensible and it also feels very sticky, but it's somehow looking like a dough that could actually turn into a bread. So I'm very excited to, yes, I'm doing the stretch and fold here. I want to give it a little bit of extra strength even, but look at this dough, how it just stays together like that. Wow. Very, very good looking dough. Now we just want to have some oven spring from this dough. I'll be repeating this whenever I see that the dough flattened out in a way that it did before. And then once my sample reached the 75% size increase, then I will try to shape this dough. Well, let's see if that's possible. But so far this is looking very good. This has been around 10 hours. It didn't double in size. I would say half of a size increase. But if I now use my pH meter, then the pH is at around 4.05. And I don't want to run into over fermentation issues. See, it's even a little bit lower. So the longer I ferment now, I'm really entering the danger zone. So it's best to shape this one now. But overall, I'm very, very, even 3.9 now. I'm very, very impressed with how this dough is behaving. All that kneading has had such a great impact. I will just be sprinkling some flour over this dough, since I don't want this side to stick. And let's hope this dough comes right out. Haha, it does. Nice. I'm just going to be adding a little bit of extra flour below the dough. Since I don't want it to stick now. I will be using my dough scraper in this case to shape the dough because it's just so fluffy and so delicate. Okay, tuck that down. Great. And now I will roll the dough upwards. It's so puffy and so extensible. Wow. Impressive. I'm just sealing the edges now. And just please, this dough is amazing. Look at the consistency of. I am just impressed. I will be placing this here in my Benetton now. Nice. Seal the edges here a little more. Use some of the excess flour here on top because I don't want this to stick. Okay, now for proofing, I will just be letting this sit for a short period of time. I think around 15 minutes at room temperature. And then I'm going to be moving this into the fridge. You can see here. Yep, this then just recovers very, very quickly. I just really want to make sure that I don't over-proof this dough now. That's the worst thing, the worst case scenario, the worst case scenario that could happen. German joke incoming. Oh, okay. Let's see. Yeah, let's try the 15 minutes and then overnight into the fridge. I think that's gonna turn this into an amazing bread. So let's see tomorrow. Good morning. This is our dough the next morning. And I'm super excited to see how this is going to bake. I'm just sprinkling this with some semolina flour because I don't want this to stick to the Dutch oven. Is this experiment going to work out or not? I couldn't be any more excited. I preheated my Dutch oven already. It's at around 230 degrees Celsius and now this is going to be baked. Pretty much my starter being baked. Does it come out of the Benetton? It's sticking a little bit. Whoa, but it's coming out. Oh, nice. Look at this bread. Wow. So I'm just gonna be scoring this right here. A little bit of extra water.
And this is where everything went sideways. I'm still facepalming myself for that. I normally preheat my Dutch oven using the fan function of my oven and I go for around 270 degrees Celsius. Now after loading the bread, I forgot to lower the temperature. What a stupid mistake. At a too high temperature, the crust forms too quickly. And that's really going to prevent you from getting that amazing oven spring. What a fail. But failure is the greatest teacher.
And voila, the final bread. It's a little bit flat, but that might have been me screwing up the baking process. So I need to try this one more time and see if I get better results. But other than that, I would say it looks pretty good. For 100% hydration, whole wheat, very good. I'm happy with the results and I really didn't think this was possible to just make a dough like that out of my sourdough starter. So Interesting. It definitely shows that whole wheat can absorb a lot of water. I'm excited now to taste this because I'm expecting this to have a super nice wet crumb. And crumb wise, nice. Oh, if you just touch that, my hand is already sticking to it. Super moist. Nice. Oh, and do you see those large pockets of air here towards the top? That's typically a sign that the crust formed too quickly and then the bread wasn't rice anymore, and then the pockets of air just collapse into gigantic ones. So I'm really thinking this might have been the steam issue. So just you screw up one parameter and then you don't get that oven spring that you sort of wished for. Yeah, also here, interesting. And here also a few more large pockets right there. So probably it was the steam, but just this is, with this crust and this nice texture here, this is amazing. I'm gonna take a slice now and give you a taste report. Yes, definitely a steam issue here. The consistency of this is so amazing. This is not as crispy anymore, but that's because I didn't eat it yesterday. I should have tried it yesterday. So maybe I should toast the bread, but other than that, this is great. This is the perfect bread consistency, seriously. I'm a huge fan of crispy crust, wet inside, wet crumb. That's just a perfect play of consistencies, amazing. Plus, because this is so high in hydration, this bread is not gonna dry out. I actually like to store my bread like this these days, making sure it doesn't dry out as quickly. So definitely a great experiment, and I'm gonna try this again because I think this could lead into something really cool to see. And also the fact that I didn't refeed my starter at the start. I was just using my bread dough pretty much to refeed my starter. Interesting. Hope you enjoyed this experiment. Thanks for watching. May the gluten be with you. And let me finish all of this. Nom 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 nom.